Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are going to be doing some performance checks on the Spyder RT, the newer model of 2023. We're going to be doing a braking check at 20 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, and 60 miles an hour. We're going to be doing a little bit of handling performance, talk about body position and leaning and all that stuff. Always controversial. And we will do a speed check also for acceleration 0 to 60 miles per hour in economy mode and in regular mode, and see exactly what this thing delivers when it comes to 0 to 60 performance. But before we get going, if you would, do me a favor, give the video a big old fat thumbs up. Not a regular thumbs up, a fat thumbs up is the only kind that'll do. Leave a comment below, even if it's just goochie goo, tickle the old algorithm. Get us moving around out there in the dadgum YouTube land. You know, it's when you comment and do all those things that we grow. That's how it works. It's like planting a tree and watering it. All right, so I've had the Spyder for a little while now. You know, I've put a little bit of miles on it, not a whole lot. Ridden a few times, a couple of times across town, on the highway, on the interstate a little bit, and getting ready to put it through its paces a little more. I'll be doing a trip over to Daytona here real soon. I'll have some dates on that coming up, but obviously it has to be soon because Biketoberfest is the weekend of October 20th in that area. We have a lot of swim competition going on. That's why this video is being released a day late. It's a day late, my goodness, and I didn't have a video out on Wednesday, so you don't see that very often. You know things are busy when that happens because I am a definite creature of habit, so hopefully I'll quit slacking off, man. This is bad, man. What's wrong with me? What we're gonna do, I'm gonna hit these brakes a couple of times. I got nothing behind me, so I've double, triple, quintuple checked. Here we go. I'm gonna hit these brakes real hard. Oh, yep. All right. We're gonna hit them a few times. We want to get those rotors nice and heated up. Not too hot, but we want everything working as good as it can, so that when we do these braking checks, that they are as accurate as possible. And I'll be sharing all of the data on the screen. I'll be writing it up here, the braking distance for the Spyder. You know, there was a video, and I'll leave a link to it up here, that I had done a braking check on the 2019 Spyder RT of mine. And that braking check was also done while it was being compared. Now, I know an unfair comparison, but I wanted people to have an idea of what the braking looked like. So I tested it against an Acura TL, a Suzuki SV650X, and my Can-Am Spyder RT 2019 non-limited edition. And here recently I had the Ryker Rally. And when I had the Ryker Rally, I did a braking check on it. I'll have those stats in here as well. I'm really curious to see if this thing stops as good as it feels like it stops. It feels really impressive. The front end dive, I'm gonna call it, man, it's big time. I mean, it's big time. I'm like, whoa. I mean, you heard it, man. The ABS kicking in and everything. I mean, this thing, it wants to stop. When it stops, I mean, it wants to stop. So I'm hoping I don't send this thing into nanny mode and throw up some kind of code doing an emergency stop. You always worry about that stuff with the technological advances that we have. But I'll show you exactly what we're going to do when we get up here. We're not far from our spot where we do our brake checking. There's a little concrete bridge, and that concrete bridge has a sign. And at that sign, that's where we start our braking. And I'll put down a mark for 20 miles an hour, a mark for 40 miles an hour, and a mark for 60 miles an hour. And then I'll measure that off, and we'll have some statistical data. A lot of people out running this morning. Look at this person running out here. I used to run out here a long time ago. But it is beautiful weather. It's awfully gray, but it's nice and cool. In fact, the temperature is showing 75 degrees, which for us for this time of year, that's really cool. It's supposed to get down to 54 degrees tonight. Yep. behind the Prius, you know, they can't do too fast. That's the Prius law. Okay, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, all right. I guess she doesn't know what she's doing either. Okay. It's I don't know. It's the Prius MO, I guess. I don't know. If you have a Prius, you can tell me, but it seems like every time I get behind a Prius, they're doing like 15 miles an hour and seem confused. So all you Prius owners out there, let me know what's going on. I'm sure you're not one of those people. You're just not. So we're coming up here. You can see that, you know, this section of the road is nice and straight. And I don't have a big run up. The hardest part is getting up to 60. So we'll turn around and I'll show you everything, but got to get down here and spin this puppy around first. There's where we start, right there at that sign. So what I'm going to do, this is our run-up area here. I'm just going to give you a quick, what we'll do is we'll spin this baby around right here, and we got this little wide spot. That's where I normally turn around. And take out the bushes. All right. So the goal is to come running up here. And you see the green sign right there. As soon as we hit that sign, as soon as I sense that the front end is at that sign, you can see I got my little marks. Bam, I hit the brake. And there's our markers from our last time with the Ryker. So let's do this. We're gonna head all the way down, I think, this time. And be as careful as I can not to get run over. But we got this little grass area. I like that better than those big tall bushes. There could be a can or a bottle, something that could cut a tire. I don't want to risk that. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is 20 miles an hour. The hardest part, honestly, is just keeping it down to 20 miles an hour. So here we go. There's 19. There's 20 right there. 20, 20, 20, 21. Brake. Nice. Let me tell you, this thing stops. It stops. This thing stopped at 20 miles an hour. I would say as fast or faster than the Ryker. Because I measured from the tire, not from the nose. So what I'm going to do, I'll take this screwdriver because I didn't want to use tape. Anyway, so we're going to come straight out. We're going to come straight out. That's where that brake mark is, right there. That's where the 20 mile an hour mark is. So yes, at 20, this thing stopped faster than the Ryker. That is very, very, I'm impressed. The first time I hit the brakes on this thing, I was like, are you kidding me? Ooh, it gets hot in the helmet. All right, so next time we'll be at 40 miles an hour. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing a lot of front end dip, which is normal. And then I feel like that back tire. I know I'm not doing an endo. I know I'm not, but it feels like I'm doing an endo. You know, a stoppie, as some people will call it. But this guy going by. This road's normally not very busy, but I just didn't want to get in his way, and I want to be able to slam on brakes without getting killed. So, win-win. All right. So this time we have to get to 40. It won't be a challenge to get to 40, but let's get it on up there so we can hold it as stable as we can at 40. There's 39, there's 40 right there. Okay, we're locked in at 40. 39, 40, 40, 40, 40, boom. Wow. I mean, this thing is something else. So 40 miles an hour on this thing. This thing is just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, this thing is stopping so much faster than the Ryker did. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is a massive machine to be stopping like it is. I'm in shock. I just tell you, I am in shock. you know, I'm like, is the speedometer right? How is it stopping so fast? But it is. All right, this one's at 60. Here's the final. And then we'll measure. I can't wait to measure this. This is crazy. Let these bicyclists get on by me. Of course, they're going to have to ride through my braking zone, so we'll let them go a good long way. All right. Man, everybody's out. I guess everybody's doing brake tests this morning. I am in no hurry though. I can wait and people can go on by, and it is not a problem. I'll sit right here and twiddle my little thumbs. Once they get by the by that sign, then I know I'll go ahead and go on. It's not that far down there. All right, nothing's coming up behind me. So the hardest part here is getting it locked in at 60 because you don't have a big run up for 60, but this thing accelerates pretty good. 55, 59, 60, 60, 60, boom. Holy crap, this thing freaking stops, y'all. I mean, this thing stops. I'm going to tell you, just understanding the performance of all of these things, and I've got it pretty good in my mind. I know how they feel because I've done this before. This thing is outperforming all of them, absolutely all of them. Now we're going to measure. If you'll remember last time, I had a hard time with my tape measure. Didn't have anybody hold the other end, so I brought something to stick the tape measure into the ground with. Okay, here we go. Well, that makes it a lot easier. All right. So at 20 miles an hour, we are looking at 12 feet, 7 inches. 12 feet, 7 inches. Now we're going to go to 40 miles an hour. This is the shocking one to me. Heck, all of them are shocking. This one is 40 feet, 7 1/2 inches. 40 feet, 7 1/2 inches. And 60 miles an hour. Man, having that screwdriver there, holding that thing in there, sure made a big difference. Here we go. And the distance on this, 106 feet, 5 1/2 inches. 106 feet, 5 1/2 inches. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. This is the most shocking video I've ever made when it comes to me, what my expectation was. Well, having that screwdriver's made all the difference in the world. Well, if those braking distances, if they didn't shock you, then you are way different than me. All right, so back in the office, I want you to know I've been crunching numbers because I find this stuff actually hard to even believe what I have come across today. So let's talk about the braking distance and the changes in the development of the Spider, because if anyone would have told me this, I would have point blank said, you are absolutely full of it. There is no way that much braking improvement could be done. And I think this is something that, when we talk about the development of the Spider, a lot of times as we're critical, and I've been critical myself, I didn't know this. I'll plead ignorance on it because it was, and I didn't, when I'm riding and I stop, my Spider stops fine, and when I'm with people that are riding other Spiders, their Spiders don't seem to stop any faster than mine. But man, the numbers don't lie. So let's look at some numbers. So when I did my original braking video, and I shared the link earlier, I'll see if I can't drop a link also down below in the description of this video, where I tested a 2019 SV650X, a Can-Am Spider RT, my 2019,
and an Acura TL. Now the Acura TL, a lot of people laugh about that. The Acura TL, man, that car will stop. I'm just telling you, it's a performance vehicle. At 20 miles an hour, let's talk about 20 miles an hour. We're going to include now, within all of those findings, we're going to include the Can-Am Ryker and the new 2023 Spyder RT. So 2 newer Can-Ams are going to be in the mix of all that. So at 20 miles an hour, the one that stopped the fastest, and you're going to hear me correctly on this, it stopped faster than the Suzuki, it stopped faster than the Ryker, it stopped faster than the Acura, and it stopped faster than the 2019 RT. And that's the 2023 RT. It stopped faster than any of those vehicles at 20 miles an hour. At a mere 12 feet 7 inches. The closest competitor was the Ryker Rally at 14 feet 3.5 inches, followed by the Suzuki at 16 feet 10 inches, followed by, ready for this, the Acura at 18 feet 7 inches, and dead last was the 2019 Spyder RT at 20 feet 10 inches. Now, if you go back to that model and you go, okay, what's the progress from a 2019 to a 2023? 8 feet 3 inches. 8 feet 3 inches. It stops that much faster at 20 miles an hour. That's pretty unbelievable. It gets more impressive or more crazy, however you want to look at it. And I've run my numbers 2 or 3 times today to make sure that this was accurate. 40 miles an hour, the stoppest fasting vehicle was the Suzuki SV650X. It's a very lightweight motorcycle, stopped at 39 feet 5 inches. Right behind it though, just over a foot behind it, I mean very, very close, was the 2023 Spyder RT at 40 feet 7.5 inches, followed by the Ryker Rally at 58 feet 4 3/4 inches. You heard me right. The RT at 40 miles an hour stops 18 feet faster than a Ryker. The Acura TL was next at 59 feet 2 inches, and the 2019 Spyder RT at 68 feet 4 inches. That is an improvement between the 19 Spyder and the 23 Spyder of 27 feet 8.5 inches. Folks, that's life and death right there. That's life and death. That's not being able to stop and hitting the deer, or being able to stop and not hitting the log truck. 27 feet is a long way. It gets even crazier at 60 miles an hour. The fastest stopping vehicle at 60 miles an hour is the 2023 Can-Am Spyder RT. Stopped faster than the Suzuki SV650, stopped faster than the Ryker Rally, stopped faster than the Spyder RT, and stopped faster than the Acura TL, and it was in that order. Now, the difference in stopping distance between the 19 RT and the 23 RT, the 23 RT stops 32 feet 5.5 inches shorter distance than the older RT. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. So I want to tell you, I'm just absolutely mind blown. Mind blown. Enjoy these stats, and if you have a newer RT, feel good about the fact that there were a lot more changes made than just body style. All right, let's get back to the ride.
So the next thing we're going to do is some handling performance, and we'll talk about that a little bit as we do it. And I'll probably do a little breakout session at my house. You know, we'll have a little video that I drop in showing you my body position. Again, as with everything, am I an experienced rider? I am an experienced rider. I've been riding a long time. I don't feel like I really, need to give you all of my credentials, to try to impress you. I think that's unnecessary. But let me say this, anything that I tell you in this video is not telling you to go out and do this on your Spyder. If you go out and do this on your Spyder and you get killed, it is on you. It is not on me. But anything that you're doing on your Spyder, you're responsible for your health, your safety, all of that jazz. Now, there are multiple ways that I do turns. I do them just sitting up like this, right? And then there's the shoulder lean, and then there's a body lean where I lean my entire body. Now, I'm going to be leaning my body on this because I want a general idea You know, now I'm not going to push this thing to the freaking very bloody edge. I'm going to tell you that, because it's not mine, and I'm not going to damage something that's not mine, and I'm not going to risk, you know, running this thing off the road into the ditch or something, you know, to prove some point that I can take a curve rapidly. But I am going to be using body position, and it will be rapid, and it will be probably, just honestly, more comfortable than most of the people that I ride with are used to. And I don't ride like this, honestly, when I ride with others. I just don't. Most people are uncomfortable with the kind of speeds that I do in these turns. It's not that they can't do it. It's not that they're incapable of doing it. They just don't feel safe doing it. And I applaud you for not feeling safe doing it, and it's okay. But let's see how this thing feels, because I've got a good idea now that I've had it a while, what it's going to do and what it's not going to do. All right. So this is McCracken Road. We're going to have a sweeping left. We're going to have a sweeping right. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit it in 5th gear, because I'm not going to accelerate through it really. Now I'm sliding way off here, but it's not like I did on the Ryker. It's completely different feel. But that was super easy. That was 52 miles an hour. And that was 57 miles an hour. Okay. Now, this is very comparable to the very first time I got on it, which tells you that I was very confident the first time I rode this Spider. Now we're going to swing back in the other direction. You normally turn faster in one direction than the other. All right, we're in 4th gear. Here we go. As far as wheel lift on the inside, it feels more stable. That was 54. Let's go in the other direction. I'm more confident on this side. I think it's because my throttle hand is over here. Very, very easy. See where we are? That was 60. So, yeah. Anyone who says, hey, Coach Bob, you rolled out into the other lane, that's because I could see the end of the road, knucklehead. You know, I didn't have to roll out into the other lane. I just did because that was the end of the road, and I'm through my turn. So I know everybody's looking out for me. Thanks, Mom. We'll go back the other way. Let's see if I can do my lefty a little better. Yeah, that was 57. I saw it as I was coming back through. And I'm not going to push this one hard. I pushed it every bit as hard as I wanted to, and that was 54. So, yeah, that was fine. That was, you know, that's exactly what I expected to feel. The performance of this thing, as far as the handling and the braking, is just absolutely knockout. It's just knockout. All right, now we come to the controversial part of the show always, handling. Now, when you're touring, if I'm riding and I have Coach Vic, precious cargo to me, my beautiful bride on the back of this thing, as I ride, I'm riding like this, elbows out, I'm relaxed, but I have good posture. Hands are relaxed on the grips, feet are in a nice 90-degree angle. I feel good. All of a sudden, we see a curve in the road. All I'm going to do is just a mild, going to look towards that turn, look through that turn, and just roll right through it. Same thing, come over here, roll right through it. That's how I do it. Very, very simple. Elbows are out, I'm just looking through the turn. That's it. Good posture. That's it. Very, very simple. Let's say I'm on a road and all of a sudden the curve is a little more stout than I thought it was going to be, and I get on it. What I'm going to do, first off, remember on the Spider you can always use a little bit of brake. It's not like on a two-wheeler where it's going to throw you up and mess you up. You can use that foot brake as you're turning. Normally I find that coming off the throttle is more than adequate. If I'm approaching a turn so fast that I have to use a brake, I've come in way too hot. All right. Then I'm talking about with Coach Vic on the back. All right. But all of a sudden I get to that turn, I come off the throttle, chop the throttle, come off the throttle. I'll lean a little further out like this. My elbow's out, I'm looking through that turn. Now you notice I'm not radically out. My hip is this left cheek is still on the seat. Not radical, I'm just elbows out and I'm looking through the turn. Same thing, I come across this other side, I'll slide, and I'll just say that my body split is in the middle of the seat, but no cheek really is hanging out off the side of the seat. My elbows out and I'm looking through the turn. Now, if I'm by myself and I'm riding more like a hooligan style, and I'm not telling you to do this, you know, I don't know why I have to say that every time, but I do have to say it every time because there are people out there, do I have to do this? You do not have to do this. Do not do this. What I do, not what you do, what I do, is my elbow is going to be out. And I'm going to, boom, I'm out here. I'm out here. What I'm doing is I'm pulling with my body. My knee is supporting my weight there. So I can hang on. My core is completely engaged. If you were to hit me in my stomach right now, it would hurt. But my core is tight right now. So my core is tight, and I'm here, and I'm looking through the turn. Now, same thing. I'll give it to you from the other side. My leg here is holding on. I'm here, and I'm looking through the turn. Now, what does that get me? Now, I know a lot of you are saying that it's not a two-wheeled motorcycle, and you don't have to hang off, and you're correct, you don't. All that's doing is shifting more weight to that inside wheel, making it more stable through the turn, because what happens if you go through a turn too rapidly, that inboard wheel, if I'm turning left, that left wheel, the one on the inside, will want to lift. Centrifugal force, right, is basic science. So the machine's going to want to throw you out this way. All I'm doing is counterbalancing the machine. Obviously, I'm not leaning the machine. I'm simply trying to keep the suspension more evenly loaded. That's all. So, nice little riding with Coach Vic. It's more like this. The turn, it's a little more than I wanted. With Coach Vic, it's going to be more like this. And if I'm by myself, it's going to be more like that. That's it. Very, very simple. Not complicated stuff. All right. Let's get back to riding.
These speed checks are pretty easy. They're 0 to 60. So I don't have to take a lot of time in the road, so to speak. That squirrel, you better look out, Mr. Squirrel. Oh my goodness. He was jumping into dancing, wasn't he? What to do, I start just beyond this sign. There's a mild curve in the road here, and just around on the other side of that curve, right about this where this crooked tree is where we're going to start. Okay? All right. So I'm just going to be 1, 2, 3, go with the horn blast. So here we go. We're going to go into eco mode first, and here we go. Go! All right, here we go. We pinned it. 60, there it was. All right. So we'll turn around up here and we'll run back to the crooked tree and we'll do it again. But eco mode, that felt awfully slow in eco mode. Eco mode just feels slow to me anyway. Throttle response, let's talk about that. You know, throttle response on the Spyder is not, I'm not going to say it's lacking. I think that it is the way it has been designed to be. And what I mean by that is you're on a touring motorcycle, and so you don't want a real choppy throttle. But I can tell you, just coming out of eco mode, and also I think I shifted a little too late. We're going to do that again in eco mode. We'll do it again. Our crook tree is right there, so we'll spin this puppy around right here. We'll let this car get on by. Nice car, huh? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Now, you may not have roads like this, but these roads are just stellar, man. They're just wonderful. All right, here we go. So let's do this again. Go. $60. There it is. Okay. That felt pretty good. Pretty good for eco mode. I think that did okay. I know there are those who ride sport bikes and all that stuff. They're going to be like, Bob, that's slow.
but it's not. For a touring motorcycle, this is good, man. This is nice. And that was in eco mode. It's going to be a lot better, I promise you, in regular mode. Let's turn this puppy right on around here. We'll you know, as with a lot of machines, you know, when you hit that 4,000, 4,500 RPM range, that's where things really get spunky. So, you know, the throttle response has a lot to do with the acceleration getting to that power band. Once you get to that power band, you're in like Flynn. It's just getting there that first time. Once you're there, though, you're in pretty good shape. And that's true with all motorcycles, and you find out where their power band is. And in a motorcycle with a clutch, you get to play with it a little bit, right? You can kind of determine, you know, what you need to do. Make sure I got nothing coming up behind me either way, and I don't. We're looking good. Here we go. All right. So this is in non-eco mode. Nothing behind me. Here we go. All right. Go! Perfect, beautiful. You know, I had someone talking about, you know, the speed of the Spider. I had someone, you know, here recently want to tell me, you know, when I'm loaded up, I don't have the power to pass. I'm just going to say I've never experienced that. Never have. I've always had ample power to pass. Now, I don't know where you're driving. Maybe you're in West Texas where the speed limit's 85 miles an hour and you're passing at 100. I don't know. But normally, when I'm touring, I'm just going to tell you, when I tour, I only do between 65 and 75 miles an hour. I'm not the guy doing 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour. It'll do it, but I don't like touring at those speeds. I don't like the way the wind feels around me. I don't like the way the landscape changes rapidly around me. I just don't like it. And so I don't do it. We'll turn around here and I'll show you something. We'll get on up to about 60, 65 here. Okay. I'm going to run that car down if I'm not careful. But if I'm doing 65 here and I'm in 6th gear, if I want to pass somebody, I told you that power band is around 4,500. I'm going to downshift into 5th. There's 4,200 right there. So just by downshifting, and you know, I'm not going to really be able to show you because I don't want to go around this guy. This thing has more than adequate power to pass as far as I'm concerned. We'll hit Highway 90 on the way back and I'll show you. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this, man. Anyone who's ever ridden here, they just understand that it is just beautiful here. I absolutely love riding this road. It just never gets boring to me. All right, well, let's hit Highway 90 and if I can't get a run up on 90, we'll hit the interstate. All right, so here we are on Highway 90. Now I'm doing 60 miles an hour, and I've got the cruise set. Now, if all of a sudden there's a guy and I want to pass him, I'm at 3,100 RPMs. If I just rev up, it's going to be like death. It's going to be so slow accelerating, you're just not going to, because you're not in your power band. You're in almost like an overdrive where you're just experiencing the smoothness of this thing. But if I downshift, it immediately comes to life, and you can see I was at 80 just like that. Now I could, oh, by the way, when you downshift, your cruise control will come off. Let's say I'm at 60 again. I can double click, and that's going to put me way up in the power band and even give me more. So here we are at 60, and you can see what it'll do. All right, I can tell you that is plenty of passing power. Now, am I loaded to the hilt? No, but I don't. If you're passing that radically with a passenger, I don't want to ride with you. I mean, and certainly if you're pulling a trailer, I don't want to be riding with you. There's plenty of power in this thing to get around the people you need to get around. I have never had a problem, and I've driven, you know, thousands and thousands of miles on this thing. It won't get around a car as fast as my Speed Triple. It's not supposed to. It's not designed to be a hooligan bike. This is a distinguished, more refined ride. This is a roadster tourer. You know, these are the kind of things you might wear a tweed jacket and have a little pipe. All right, well, enough of my babbling, but I think you got the point. This thing is wonderful. This thing has been a joy to test today. The braking, I am just in shock. The handling is stellar. The acceleration, I can't wait to see the results and see where it sits with my Spider, because there is a subtle weight difference between the two. But the brakes, man, the brakes on this thing, my goodness, just insane. In the membrane, insane, you got no brain. All right, well, there you have it. All the testing is done, the braking, the handling, the accelerating, and it was a wonderful ride. So do me a favor until next time. You, oh yeah, yes you, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, oh yeah. And remember, if you're not having fun, you are doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I will see you on the road real soon. Man, this thing performs like a beast. What can I tell you?